This video will help you use the data interactive we have on our website for the Fisheries Independent Setline Survey. To get started, let me orient you with the page. There are three parts. Along the top, you will see the data selection panel where you can choose what you'd like to view and how you'd like to view it on the map, in the table, and in this ranked bar chart at the bottom. So along the top is where you can select the catch data that you want to view. You can look at numbers per unit effort, combined all sizes, or broken down into legal and sublegal. The same thing for weight per unit effort. At the bottom, you can also look at adjustments for hook competition. If you don't want to look at the entire survey range at one time, you want to focus in on areas, you can select either a bioregion or specific regulatory areas. To do that, you can clear them all, select the ones that you want, hit apply, and you'll see the map at the bottom is filtered out to only show those in areas 3B and 3A. Okay, so you can look at the raw values, or you can look at those values with the adjustment for hook competition applied. And you can make that decision here. You just select adjusted, you can see how those look with the adjustments applied to them. If you want to just look at the raw data as it was recorded on our survey boats, you can hit raw. You also have the option of looking at these either as the rates themselves, where you can see here we got weight per unit effort. Here's the maximum value of the legend here. Change that to 300. Or you can look at them as a percent of the previous year to see how things were compared to the previous year. In which case, the maximum value for a percent previous year comparison is 200%. So anything right or above is 200 or more percent of the previous year. Go back. If you want to go to 1 year prior, you have 2017 compared to 2016. Go back to 2017. All right, when you have rates selected, you have the option to adjust the maximum value on the legend. And the reason we do that is because the maximum catch rates have changed quite a bit over the entire time series of the survey. For example, if we're looking at weight per unit effort in 2018, we can set it at 300 and we get some pretty good differentiation. We get reds and purples and all that. However, if we leave it set at 300 and we go back in time to 2002, you'll see that in 2002, most stations had catches with a weight per unit effort of greater than 300. They're all red there. There's very little differentiation. So let's move that up to, let's say 800. You'll see the value here at the end of the legend changes. And now we get more differentiation, and we can see any of the reds are now 800 or more pounds per skate as a weight per unit effort. That's very good. Okay, now let me go back to back to the current year, 2018. And if we want to take a closer look at these, we can use the crosshairs to move the map. I noticed I was missing some in Prince William Sound there. Then I can go back to the map controls and get the magnifying glass. You notice they're all purple, and that's because I have it still set at 800. So let's go back down to 300. That looked pretty good. All right, I still have the magnifying glass selected. And now I can get all these stations in there, and it will zoom the map to put those there. You can adjust the mark size. Say I want to make it just a little bit bigger, so it looks like the edges all touch each other. There we go. It's a little bit bigger. You can make them really small if you want to, which is what I recommend when you're zoomed out. Good. Okay. When you hover over in station, that station's time series plots will show both their weight per unit effort on the left and numbers per unit effort on the right. Takes a moment to build, but you can see how these stations have performed over time. Okay. So the tables at the bottom, these are useful for seeing how the catch is distributed over the depth. It's the catch rate proportion by a depth range bin. This is currently in meters. You can change it to fathoms if you'd like to. So any of these reds, that means that the average catch rate in that depth bin was, say, 200% of the average catch rate for all the stations there. Now these are only showing stations in 3A and 3B because that's what we have selected up at the top. If we were even more curious, or maybe we wanted more higher resolution, we could say just select the stations within Prince William Sound here, and only those stations will be shown on the table below. You can see there's not very many in there. There's 1, 2, 3 there. If we want to find the highest producing station in Prince William Sound, we can click it on there. These are the stations ranked by weight per unit effort of all sizes. 627 pounds per skate, station 4143. Where is that on the map? Just need to zoom over. There it is. It is that station. We can really zoom in on it if we want to and see where it was. Well, play around with this. I hope